Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr.
Morning,
Jerry. Today we're talking about BPD. Is that right?
Borderline personality disorder. Yes, fondly referred to as BPD.
What exactly is borderline personality disorder?
Sounds very serious.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, oh, you've got personality disorder, and they try to diagnose everybody with personality disorder. But there are so many different types of personality disorders. The most common one being BPD, so borderline personality disorders. So sometimes people call it emotionally unstable personality disorder. So it's quite telling already. So you have your mood swings, you have your irritability, you have your anxiety, you have your clinginess. They have a very strong sense of fear of abandonment. Yeah, so, and they have cognitive distortion. So they would think of somebody is doing this to me. They have certain paranoias, perhaps.
But you may not know, right?
This to me?
They may not show these. I mean, is
it obvious?
Is it obvious? Yes. Or
For the high functioning ones, sometimes it's not so obvious. They can still, carry out their daily tasks, have a social life, but you can see some traits there. So they cannot manage their emotions, or they have their self-image issues, or they have relationships, but they have very unstable relationships. So yeah.
Jerry, this has nothing to do with a chemical imbalance, does it?
So it does. It is a psychiatric illness. It is classified. So it is a psychiatric medical condition that can be and should be medicated, because it has it comorbids with many other disorders also.
okay.
When we go on to the Big Show TV, I just want to ask you about the term borderline personality disorder with reference to borderline. So
We need a bigger studio.
when you say borderline, right, it's on the cusp of. Is there something worse than borderline? Is after borderline personality disorder, or is it a serious thing? It sounds like you're on the cusp of having a personality
But
disorder.
borderline
Nothing,
what?
right?
Borderline?
is
No.
you know what I mean?
So there are many different types of personality disorders. So there is the histrionic personality disorder. There is narcissistic personality disorder. There's antisocial personality disorder.
I'm just nodding. That's all.
Yeah, so there are many different kinds. Avoidant, there is dependent, OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. So borderline comes, it came from when the psychiatrists were not quite sure whether it is a psychotic disorder or a neurotic issue. So that's why it's borderline.
Okay.
Okay, for the uninitiated, can
the
you...
difference between psychotic and neurotic.
Psychotic, you kill people.
I didn't want to ask.
No. So it's because there are so many different areas, right? There's the cognition. So whether there's a thinking issue, whether there's an affective issue, which is the emotional part, and the borderline seem to have all these mixed in. So, they couldn't, it's not that they couldn't, but, it encompassed so many variety of different symptoms. That's why it's borderline.
I feel like I've just sat for class number 1,
Yeah.
It's a tough subject, right? It's a very tough subject, though.
It is. And tougher would be the people around dealing with it, and the people themselves dealing with it. So both have a lot of challenges trying to deal with the disorder.
I'm listening to this. Someone like yourself who has to deal with a client who has this.
Sounds tiring.
It sounds exhausting.
It is. So we okay, let's have an example. So some of us might identify a BPD in our midst. So you don't have to be in an intimate or romantic relationship with a BPD. But we all kind of have heard of a friend that is a bit too clingy.
Yes.
That will come into your space a bit too much. That unwanted guest that self-invites and say, "Oh, but you have time, what?" Or if you don't, you don't accept me, or you don't have me for this event, it means that you don't want me. You're throwing me away. How can you be so cruel?
Guilt trip.
Yeah.
Parasites.
Wow.
Yeah. Known a couple of people. They suck.
They
Parasites
suck you
because
dry.
they suck all that energy out of
Yeah.
you. I feel I've known some people like that, and
Yeah,
they
but
can.
before that, right? Yeah, but before that, the manifestation can be that they're very poor thing, and you want to help them.
They're so
and you want to
lonely.
be there for them. Yeah, because they tend to feel very empty. They tend to appear very needy. They tend to seem to require your help, and they come to you. So the initial part can appear like, oh, you're the most important person. I can only depend on you. Thank you for being there for me. And then it progresses into that whole clinginess.
Right.
You can't get rid of them. You don't know how to extricate yourself from a situation because you would be deemed as cold, unfeeling.
They send you off on a guilt trip.
And then when you realize it's often too late, right? Because you said you get so deep in that relationship, doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, that you don't know how to pull yourself away. So how do we pull ourselves away?
Yeah, so before we even reach there, I think we need to go through all the different, signs and symptoms.
Okay.
But one interesting, one huge characteristic would be one moment they love you to bits. The next moment when you try to put in some boundaries, it would turn into loathing, and really very bad loathing.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. So very
So like a possessive, boyfriend,
obsessive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Parasite.
girlfriend.
Or
girlfriend,
even a
yeah.
friend as well.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be romantic.
Yeah, it can be someone
No,
that you just take
no.
pity on, and then you get so deep into it that you can't get out.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely, so come be with me.
Oh my God, Jerry. Siu Cheng.
Traffic.
Okay, well, let's do traffic first, and then I'll come back.
Stand by. All right, good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. I think Ed Sheeran needs to see you,
Why?
Dr. Jerry. It's like that song, Bad
He's got
Habits.
Bad
It's such a
Habits?
stupid song.
Oh no, I
It's
actually like that song. It's one of
Bad
my favorites.
habits.
song.
My bad habits lead to you.
Yeah.
So, for example, my bad habit is picking my nose. And then how is my picking of my
Bad-
nose
bad-
leading to... Or like, okay,
You're so
some people, they have
unromantic.
like
Stop
this,
it.
what do you call it, bad habit
Yeah.
of farting in public. So how
You're
is that farting
you're
going to be
simplifying it.
leading to you?
You're
I don't know if
simplifying
he's simplifying it. I have other words for
it.
it, but
I'm trying to be nice. Yeah. So Jerry, Siu Cheng came on
Yes.
our Facebook and said,
Yes.
apologizing is difficult for someone with BPD. I think, is it difficult, or is it that they don't see a need for it because they see you as letting them down?
So many of these patients, clients with BPD, they do not have insights. So they don't know that there is an issue. So they cannot see that there is an issue. So if there isn't an issue, they would not be able to apologize because they don't realize that there is an issue. They only know their discomfort. They only know their unhappiness, and they tend to be very, very rigid. So once they are stuck on a thought, they cannot maneuver out of that thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing that's come through on our Facebook, and this is help.
Okay.
Okay. Aaron, good morning. So in need of this topic. So what do we do if we are knee deep in this situation already?
Oh dear. So I wonder what do you mean by knee deep, right? But also let's look at the 4 different types of BPD. So there are 4 different types of BPD. So there's the discouraged, there's the impulsive, there's the petulant, as well as the self-destructive BPD.
Right. For people who are just tuning in right now, BPD stands for borderline personality disorder. It's not a sexually transmitted disease. Just
Glenn, oh my goodness.
I mean, for people who are tuning in, all of a sudden, they're like, hey, BPD. It's like what? You know, it's like
It's like
so
an
borderline personality disorder. It's important.
Okay.
Some
Yes, it
people
is.
will not know what BPD is.
Okay.
Seriously.
And what
Yes.
did you say that third one was? Petulant. What's that?
Petulant. The third one is petulant. So let's go with petulant since we want to try to go for that. Okay. They tend to be stubborn, pessimistic, and resentful. And they teeter between extreme feelings of being unworthy and anger. So they can explode with anger. So sometimes when you encounter personalities like these, they tend to be very angry personalities. So they kind of want to be accepted by people, and they don't want to disappoint others. But they also are quite reliant on the other person. Yeah. So these sort of personalities can be passive aggressive and can have self-harming self-harming behavior, can display self-harming behavior to obtain attention. So they can be the ones that say, I got a knife, and they kind of mention that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on The Big Show TV. It is 8:13.
Yeah.
So that's one part.
There's one. So they tend to be very angry because they want to. So for example, if I've got BPD and I want to go to Angel because I need Angel's help, but I'm also very fearful that Angel will reject me. So I'll go. You want to do? Can you do? Or I would try to wrestle Angel into doing something.
Is BPD something someone's born with, or is it situational?
It is quite a difficult question, but most of the time we do realize, or in literature, that the BPD do have very poor attachment styles to their primary caregiver.
So situational.
So it can be exacerbated by that quite badly. So most of the time you hear them saying, my parent is dismissive. They don't listen to me at all. They, whatever I say, they just brush it away. Or they might say that, sometimes this person is there for me and then is fawning over me. Another time is like wrecking me. So a very disorganized sort of attachment style.
Okay, so someone who is not close to their parents, does that sometimes sort of fester that kind of behavior? And then they go into they meet somebody, like say a relationship. They meet someone who has a close relationship with their parents, but they don't understand that whole situation and try and pull that person away.
Yes, it can be. It sounds like you've encountered this person before. Yeah. So to them, a secure relationship is a very alien concept. So they can either be jealous or they might not understand, and they might think that it is not possible, and therefore they pull the other person into their own pattern of behavior.
Jerry, do people with this condition ever get violent?
Wow.
I would think yes.
I would
right?
imagine they
think
would.
at certain
sheer
ones,
frustration of
yeah.
the situation.
They might not purposefully be violent. So they might not be they might not want to hurt the other person. But they might, because of their reckless personality, hurt the other person.
How do you deal with somebody like that then?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
how do you say you get pulled into their life, or they pull you into their situation because they think that's the only way that life should be, right?
Yes.
So if they can pull you in, then can you pull them out? Can you show them the other way of life?
So it is possible. So there's a lot of work that we do with BPD. We do realize that it comes with other comorbidities also. So it comes with depression, anxiety for some of them. Some of the eating disorder patients also display BPD traits. So we work on those areas also. So, we can use a variety of different therapeutic methods, including CBT, psychotherapy, person-centered
What's
therapy.
CBT again?
CBT is
Cognitive behavior therapy.
Oh, I know what you were thinking.
criminal breach of trust.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Just like BPD, it's like BPD. I'm thinking like burp
BP, that's how you spell burp.
or burped.
The past tense of burp.
Ayo, these two.
What do you mean two? One. It's
Yeah,
him.
exactly,
It's
it's me.
him. No, not me. It's
Yes,
him.
borderline
He's the
personality in its
problem.
order.
Don't
if
comment
you're just
on
tuning
it,
in.
because then
Oh,
he
don't
will
comment.
Don't
Now
comment. He
it's
will-
my fault.
No, I'm just
Hefty.
saying. If you comment, he will go further.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, don't.
But sometimes I just like to poke, so it's fun. Okay, sorry, Dr. Jerry. Before Glenn so rudely interrupted
What?
you.
I'm keeping quiet here. It's like the both of you back and forth. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Where were we?
Glenn is
Criminal
feeling
breach
a
of
little
trust.
bit-
CBT. CBT.
Yes, we were trying to include you, Glenn. You're feeling a little bit abandoned.
Yeah, he's got abandonment issues.
No, Glenn does not have BPD.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a narcissist.
Yeah, that probably is true.
a bit.
Bit.
So I've been told.
FT, you said don't comment, right?
Yeah, true.
Now I gotta tone down my narcissistic ways.
I'm surprised you don't have a mirror in front of you. Oh, wait, there's a screen.
See, they're making fun of me.
Okay, back
to you, Jerry.
Back to CBT.
We talked about the petulant borderline.
Yes,
The discouraged borderline exhibits clingy, codependent behavior. They would be in a group, but they sometimes feel a little bit like an extra, right? They tend to exude a lot of like, I feel disappointed, I feel angry. So you invite them and you feel like, how come they're always so dark, They tend to engage in self-mutilation and even suicidal behaviors. They want to seek approval, but they avoid people, feeling unworthy, and can be quite depressive also. So that's the discouraged borderline. And impulsive borderline is often highly charismatic, energetic, and engaging. But they can be superficial, flirtatious, and elusive, seeking thrills and becoming quickly bored. So the impulses thrive on attention, excitement, and get themselves into trouble after acting first and thinking later. So
It's a little bit of a rebel almost.
lead to substance abuse and self-injurious behavior.
Sounds like James Dean, man. Rebel without a cause.
Ooh.
Yes, and the last one, self-destructive borderline. As the name says, right? They engage in self-destructive behavior. They can be bitter, self-loathing. And they have no sense of themselves and are really, really scared of being abandoned. So in order to feel something, they might hurt themselves, and they would be the most likely to engage in risky behavior like reckless drivings and degrading sexual acts.
Oh,
Oh.
wow, that sounds awful.
Yeah, so at the workplace, these can be the people that, because they want to be accepted, they can be very promiscuous.
Right.
Okay.
Do we have examples of degrading sexual acts?
Or in
Stop it.
school as well, right? Not just workplace.
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
Could be in school as well.
We are on the Big Show TV, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can say
Degrading-
anything you want.
Degrading sexual acts.
Yes, I know. That's yes.
What?
Okay, stop.
What is that?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll draw you some pictures.
Yeah, oh, wow.
Anyway, Jerry, how do we?
I draw something for everything.
No.
How do we? See, I'm trying to ask Jerry a question. How do we deal with
Don't.
people who have BPD if they're within our circle or within our family? How do we deal with these people?
So for ourselves, if we can identify, are you still at drawing things? Do not draw anything.
Yeah, Glenn.
He's terrible.
I'm drawing an African sea coconut. Okay.
Jerry, how
stop
do
it.
we deal with these people?
See, like, for example.
Deal with Glenn or deal with BPD? Now,
BPD. Glenn, we know how to deal with.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so like it or not, we do need to put in a little bit, not a little bit, quite a lot of boundaries. So boundaries, you keep hearing me say boundaries because the one with BPD does not know where the boundary line is. So whilst we want to give them the empathy, we want to be accepting of them, we need to know where our line is. And sometimes it's quite difficult because when you draw that line, it's almost as if you're being heartless. But you're going to be heartless to yourself if you don't draw that line. So it's strange like that.
So almost like
Yeah.
tough love.
A bit like yeah.
Yeah, I can see where
So-
drawing those lines would be very restrictive to someone with BPD.
Yeah, it is tough. Let me
Okay, hang
highlight.
on.
Jerry, hold on. We got to go back on air, okay? Stand by.
Okay.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is the very charming Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. And Glenn is just trying to backpedal because he's like trying to interrupt and disrupt the whole flow
Correct.
of BPD.
Yes,
Yes.
BPD, borderline personality disorder.
Well done.
Yes, not something you have when you're feeling itchy.
Glenn!
Always. Okay, Dr. Jerry.
Okay. Yes. Back to the BPD.
Yes.
We were saying that how do we deal with BPD? So one is to know yourself because the other person don't know themselves, right? So knowing yourself, knowing where your boundary is. I always emphasize on building resources. That means your own social resources. Talk to someone because they give you another perspective that you're not doing wrong by the other person. And that all of you can be in that situation supporting each other because sometimes the person with BPD tends to be quite isolating because they want them all to want you all to themselves. Yeah, so sometimes what happens in the workplace is also splitting can happen. That means they would have you ally with them and then turn one against the other. So you are good, the other person is no good. You see, you can do all these for me, the other person cannot do all these for me. So they start saying bad about the other person so that you would be more inclined to be supporting them and continue to support them.
Okay.
Okay. So, any examples of people with borderline personality disorder? How about Donald Trump? Since he's in the news all the time, does he have borderline personality disorder, you think? I mean, based on what we've seen?
Well, many experts have tried to analyze him, and they all agree that he has some sort of personality disorder.
Okay.
But
Right.
I suppose, what type of personality disorder? Many of them would agree that it's more narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know him, so it's very unfair to just base it
I
off.
like Donald Trump. I think he's misunderstood.
Jerry, I want to ask you, there are personality disorders, okay? When we come back, I'm going to ask you a question about personality disorders in general.
Okay. Meantime, here's SZA with Satin on Kiss 92.
Okay, Jerry, we're talking about Donald Trump and personality disorders. Many
Yes.
people say he's narcissistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like,
But
Okay.
my question is, he's narcissistic. Without that narcissism, he would not be where he is today,
He would not be Donald Trump.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
are all personality disorders bad for you?
I mean, if you put it that way, a personality disorder.
No, but
course,
is it?
it's bad.
Narcissism is a
No, but
personality
then if
disorder.
you just say narcissism,
No, but
I know
are
it's-
there? I'm just saying, are there personality disorders that
I
are
know
not
what-
necessarily
is
bad?
narcissism always bad?
There are many
I don't
questions
think he was
here.
asking that. I think it
No.
is the personality disorder. So, a disorder by itself causes a dysfunction somewhere, somehow, right? Is being a little bit narcissistic bad? No.
No.
So, without the disorder, and we just take that concept, many entrepreneurs that we speak with need to have a little bit of narcissism
Yeah.
where they look at themselves and go like, I'm the best, that's why my products are the best. and
You're
that's why
looking
you
good
need to
today.
like
You
it."
can do this. Yeah.
I love
But
you.
it hasn't
Yeah.
reached a disorder level.
So it becomes a disorder when it starts to affect many different parts
Others.
of their life. Yeah,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean they cannot function, or some of them can be very, very high functioning. Some of them can be very highly intelligent also. Yeah,
Okay.
Some.
yeah.
So narcissism. So yeah, why are you looking at me? So narcissism does not equate to narcissistic personality disorder, right?
Well, narcissism is a way to describe a person and how they see themselves, right? So,
Okay.
if it affects them in a various ways. So, for example, there's a cognitive distortion. They think of themselves and it's so inflated, and they impose it onto everyone that there's no more rationality. Then that is something wrong, right?
Donald Trump.
Or
Yeah.
if let's
My
say
Donald
there
Trump.
is paranoia,
Donald
if
Trump.
there is there is an emotive aspect, and they cannot regulate themselves. They are overly paranoid. Glenn is on this.
He's just
weird-
being annoying,
weird
today. He's just being
mood.
annoying.
My golden mic seems to have lost its shine.
Do you need a polish like a?
Now it's shining a little bit more. It was getting a bit dull.
Yeah, ayo,
You're
you know
my-
what? Glenn is one of
Turn
those,
his microphone off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Leave it off. Leave it off. Yeah.
Even our listeners are saying, based on today, you should go to Dr. Jerry and get some help.
He's not allowed.
I've been asking.
He's not allowed.
I've been asking only for the past like 3
many
years.
years? Yeah,
He's
it's true.
trying to prove it even more today.
That's true.
Something's wrong with Glenn.
See me today.
And it's a very serious topic. He turns into this naughty student that doesn't listen.
Jerry,
Naughty student.
Jerry, let me ask you this. You just said it. Do you find that common in Singapore? Sorry, I know we're talking about BPD and this is way off the...
Go ahead.
I find a lot of people in Singapore turn to comedy when they cannot handle a situation.
Turn to comedy.
For example, my first
They make a
instance of
joke.
this was when I watched Titanic. And there's a part of the movie where the boat rises up and people are sliding off into the ocean.
You keep bringing
and
this
people
reference up.
laugh.
Because they're thinking of Big Splash, you see,
No, but
at East Coast.
do you find that that's a way that people deal with stuff that they otherwise can't deal with?
It is a way of dealing with things. So I see it very starkly. Let me use one of the clients or some of the clients. So I used to be very perplexed by the autistic children, because when they see a very intense situation, when they see people screaming and shouting at each other, they start to laugh. They stand there and they laugh. Yeah, and I realized they don't know what to do with the discomfort, and when they
With
feel
the
this
emotion, right?
discomfort within their body, so they start to laugh because they don't know what other emotions to show. You can cry with them. They can choose to cry with them. They can choose to also scream. Those are options available for all of us. We can also choose to laugh.
So in other words, FD was in the theatre with autistic people
I don't know how he gets these things.
for the Titanic movie.
Glenn, we are switching off your mic.
You were one of those naughty students, weren't you?
I think the alcohol is still in the body
I
from last
I
night.
didn't want to say. I didn't want to say. I think he's still drunk from last
Please, I'm not drunk.
Oh dear
I
me.
never get drunk these days. I don't know
night. Oh
why.
yeah, so says you.
My liver is just so conditioned.
Tell you what you can do. Tell you what you can do this afternoon. Watch the Big Show TV back again and see what
then go
happens.
like,
See what
oh.
it's like.
Oh, was that me?
Was it?
Sorry, Dr. Jerry. We do apologize for his behavior.
No, don't apologize. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
Everyone's laughing at you.
Sorry. Go on with today's BPD.
Yeah.
Oh, at the
Yes,
end
yes.
of today's session, Jerry, we will be having a look at what Angel experienced yesterday
At
at
the
the
Tay-Tay.
Taylor Swift concert.
Hey,
She
yes.
put a little
Tay.
video together,
Yeah, just a small one.
but right now it's
Time for the Big Show
BPD.
TV.
Yes. Well, maybe I'll share also. We do encounter clients with BPD, but this particular case that I'm sharing is not a client of ours, but we had so much issue with this person. So this person actually wrote in and say, "Can you help me? My friend doesn't want to talk to me. So, I'm feeling a little bit down." So, okay, it sounds very innocuous. So we say, okay, let's set up a session and then we can talk. No, you just get her to talk to me. She's blocked me on the Facebook. So it started to progress this way, and then there was more and more text exchanges, email exchanges, because that's where the requests for appointments come in. So then when she realized that, or this person realized that, I can't get the reply. So she starts to copy and paste her requests. And it can be with a lot of emojis, a lot of exclamation mark, a lot of emojis with crying faces. And it could be things like, "I've been bullied before," and that occurs for like hundreds of emails.
Wow.
On our contact email, we have 860 emails from her.
wow. Okay, hold
Wow,
on. We're
hang on, hang
going
on.
to go for a traffic update. Good morning, Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for today is award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan. If you need any help, in in areas of mental
Wellness?
please go and look for Dr. Geraldine Tan and her team at the therapy room.
Yeah, and just like wellness check-ins, because we say that's so important as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to make
Yes.
sure that you're okay. So you were talking about this, somebody who you have encountered and unofficially
Yeah.
diagnosed as having BPD, maybe?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Just because of the pattern of behavior, come help me, please help me. You're not helping me. And then it oscillates to, let me draw a portrait of you. So I've got portraits of myself.
So did you guys
email.
Did you guys actually respond to this person or just let those emails come in? Was it a one-way conversation?
So there was a lot of spamming, meaning that it just came in quite incessantly, and it was a lot of copy and paste sort of situations. It's something that happened in the past, and it was just copied and paste into many different emails. So there was nothing to reply to at that point in time. Yeah. But when she requested for a session, perhaps, then we would reply. But then no session was being made, or the request was a strange request, like you make it, but nothing comes out of it. So it went on for quite a bit, and this person wouldn't stop. And I was mentioning, right, in the contact email, it was 860. It was similar in my personal email because I had replied her. Yeah, then it went on to the socials. So we had to report her and block her there. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's no joke, because for a situation like this, you're an organization. This person could have turned up at your doorstep.
Yes.
I'm sure there are people, as I said, could have.
I'm surprised she
that
didn't.
She didn't,
Yeah,
right?
actually.
But there are individuals that go through things like that as well. I'm sure, obsessive people that somebody is trying to get in touch with, whether it's through calls or emails or on social media and all that. So what does one do if they encounter the person in person? Because you can hide behind the wall of emails and stuff like that. But if it happens that you run into them, what do you do?
Yeah, so if it moves into a space of such obsessiveness, stalking sort of behavior, coming to the space, encroaching into your personal space, one, I always say, please make sure that people around you know. Please do not try to bear with it, because I know so many people that think it's my fault or it's my issue. I shouldn't trouble other people. No, you should let everybody know so that we can all keep you safe, or we can keep ourselves safe. Right?
Okay.
Because there are situations that we do need to engage the help of even authorities, because this person might not have the insight that they are trespassing or they are encroaching into the private spaces, and they assume that they are doing right by themselves. Right? And that you're the wrong one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on The Big Show TV. Up next, Jonas Blue. This is Rise on Kiss 92.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we do need to let the other person know what is right and what is wrong. So if it's been clearly spelled up to them, so educating them, right? What is right and what is wrong, and what they can do. So you're giving them an option, and they're still not following. Then we know that, they are in a space that they are too irrational. We cannot, we stop engaging them. So you cannot keep playing tug of war with them. You go back and forth. They will also go back and forth with you. They will do the tango with you.
So you cut the strings, basically. Right?
Yeah. So at that point, you do not engage with them. Yeah.
Wow.
Or you cannot engage. There's no point in engaging with them.
It becomes irrational, right?
Correct.
For them as well.
But you do need to let them know right, wrong, and options.
Okay. Options are always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to some people
Cut the ties.
out
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
Is that the solution though? I mean, there are some people that you can't. You can't. For example, a relative, or
yeah.
even
Why not?
it could even be an immediate relative, like a parent or a child.
Parent, then
or some-
maybe not.
But
Parent, sibling,
But any other relative, no problem.
But they
Just
can.
cut them
But
out.
you see, if it's a parent or a sibling or something, and they have this BPD, but you still have to look after them, or you have to be close to them, or how do you can't cut any ties.
Yeah, so that's why I was quite insistent on knowing the signs and symptoms and recognizing the signs and symptoms, because a lot of times when we encounter them, we say we tend to brush it away and say, oh, they're just like that. Oh, I've no choice. Oh, I have to just deal with it. Oh, I just have to live with it. But that's the whole idea about educating ourselves about the different disorders and knowing what to look out for, so that we can then, that's only one of the resources, we can then look for professionals, because that would be a long-term sort of therapy that they need to go for. Or maybe the person that has encountered it need to go for.
So, Jerry, BPD, you can't cure it.
Borderline personality disorder.
You can't cure it. You teach people to manage it.
Yes. So
You can't cure it at all.
You can learn how to manage it. So some of them that I work with, using more person-centered as well as psychotherapy, we work with their attachment to people. So we work with them on their social skills, because that part may be faulty. So it's not like they don't know how to engage. Some of them can be very charming, but because they either cling or they throw, that it makes the relationships very, very unstable, and people don't want to be around them. So through the work, and it does take quite a number of years, they start to be more comfortable. Their sense of self starts to grow, and they start to be more stable within themselves. They know what are the limitations of, in terms of the social circle, the social engagement.
Okay, hold
it
on.
would definitely help them.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
What's
coming
happening?
up. Weather.
Okay, yeah, stand by. Hold on. Okay, where were we?
What a strange. Yes,
don't
it's a very
remember.
heavy topic.
Yeah.
Jerry,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, and this is just off the top of my head, are there books out there that can help people deal with these situations, be it BPD and other personality disorders?
Self-help books.
Self-help reference books. Are they out there at all?
Thousands.
I'm sure there are.
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Question is, who do you trust?
Dr. Geraldine Tan
I was about to say.
and her team.
When are you releasing a book?
No, my colleagues, the colleagues in the field would also deal with BPD. Whether there is a good book out there, I think maybe the listeners can help us if they have come across a good book. Yeah. Sometimes I would say go to the professional, work with the professional. The issue with a lot of disorders and even illnesses is we tend to over-intellectualize. So we would
Right.
do that doom scrolling, right? We would go on one site to another site to another site, and we start to feel more and more uneasy, or we start to be very frantic about it. So I'm actually quite cautious about that.
So rather than read, see a professional.
Because the internet and books and all that, they give you all sorts of information. You can
yeah.
get so lost in it.
Yeah, and you might
Yeah.
feel like you have BPD, but maybe
actually
you
you
don't.
don't.
So
You
if you see a therapist or whatever, I think they will tell you whether
be able to
you
better,
really
yeah.
do have BPD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes you diagnose yourself. We've got so many young people that come in and say, I've got BPD, and say, where do you hear that from? Oh, it's trending on TikTok.
Oh,
Really?
come on.
Hashtag
Seriously?
BPD. Yeah, but people,
Yeah.
I mean, they will see what they want to see, right? TikTok is
Yeah,
dangerous
and
like
the
that.
algorithm just keeps pushing whatever that you've watched before,
Yeah.
and then it selects all these similar sort of reels for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do worry with some of the younger viewers of platforms like that.
Not just younger, older as
No,
well.
but with the younger ones, sometimes it's very cool to have a condition.
yeah.
Yes.
It's
yes.
cool to
Yeah.
be diagnosed with something.
It's cool
Yeah.
to be diagnosed with a condition. It's
Yeah, like they're all going around
True.
saying I have ADHD, I'm OCD.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's a very loose term that's,
yeah.
or I'm borderline this, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Borderline
Yeah.
that.
yes.
Okay, we're going on air one last time, and then after that we'll check out the Taylor Swift video, courtesy
Yes.
yeah.
of Angelique Teo.
Yeah.
Troy Sivan, one of your girls, right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. It's Glenn, Angelique Teo Sihao, and
Who's
the
Sihao?
Flying Dutchman.
Who's
What is
Sihao?
your
Su
Chinese?
Ping?
Su Ping?
Su
Yeah,
Ping.
Su
Oh, sorry.
Ping.
Angelique Teo Su Ping and the Flying Dutchman. And we have with us Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room, and we're talking about borderline personality disorder.
Why'd you use my full name though?
Huh?
You missed out a middle name, but it's
No,
okay.
because you see, I'm saying BPD, borderline personality disorder. And instead of Angel, Angelique Nicole Teo Su
Nicolette.
Ping.
Yeah, okay.
What did I say? Nicole.
Yes.
Did I say Nicole?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nicolette.
sorry. I mean, and why is your
Why-
name
yeah,
so long?
exactly. Stop it.
Angelique
Okay.
Nicolette some more. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Dr.
Ger.
Geraldine Tan. So let's wrap up the topic today. Borderline personality disorder, BPD.
Yes. Yes, I mean, BPD is a very tough disorder to deal with. I wouldn't recommend dealing with it alone. So if you do know anyone, please try to encourage them to visit a professional. They might shop around for the right professional because they have attachment issues. So it doesn't mean the very first one that they go to, they will take to the person. So they may shop around a little bit. For those that have encountered and need support, please look for support, but never go into that relationship alone.
I would
that
like
would
you to
be-
assess me. Because some people say I have borderline personality disorder.
Yours
But I
not
don't believe
borderline,
so.
bro. Yours is just personality,
Yours is
bro.
not borderline.
Not even borderline.
So I need to see someone.
Yes.
Okay? I need to see someone,
Aiyo.
and then
And here we go.
I can tell everyone, okay, I do not have borderline personality disorder. I am not a narcissist.
It is not a Tuesday unless Glenn says, I would like to come see you, Dr. Jerry.
Correct, Dr. Mo. When are we meeting? When am I going to be
On your
sitting on your
couch.
couch? Or rather, lying down
Yeah, there
on
you
your
go.
couch?
There you
Many
go. Okay, Dr. Jerry,
years.
any final words?
Yes. So for those that are going through BPD, they are also suffering very misunderstood. For those that have encountered, people with BPD, they are also feeling very misunderstood. So I'm gonna say this from this book because we're talking about books.
Oh, the boy, the horse, the mole,
Yeah.
the
The
fox.
fox and the horse.
Yeah, I
What-
love
wait, hold on.
this.
What part of the horse is that I'm seeing?
It's the head.
Sorry,
The head.
the screen is quite
The head.
small.
The head.
Oh, I
It's the
see.
boy. Yes, this is a lovely
Yes.
one.
Yeah. So he's talking, the mole says, one of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things.
Oh.
That's
Very
true.
Absolutely.
multi-layered.
Absolutely.
That is true.
So leaving everybody with that.
Okay.
Awesome, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Jerry. You can stay on because we'll be watching the 5-minute video of Angel's experience at the Taylor Swift concert last night. All
Yay.
right. But thank you very much for joining us. As always, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room will be back with us next Tuesday, same time. Bye-bye.